back up our advantages. First, I want to talk about our impact of market integrity. And to do this, I'm going to be bringing up a study that was published by 3 PhDs in July of 2009 by the IMF, based on an analysis of 72 OECD banks. And it said better capitalized banks are able to sustain higher losses without becoming insolvent and can maintain access to funding in the midst of market uncertainty about their asset values. So that's more evidence about how we increase resiliency during a crisis. And then finally, I want to quote from another study by San Al-Nahed, a PhD from the University of Colorado Boulder, in February of 2015. Even though an increase in the equity capital ratio is associated with the private costs of the banks, the effects on bank lending is positive. We find that a 1 percentage point increase in the book equity ratio is associated with a 1.69 percentage point increase in bank level new lending growth. So what we can see from this is that this increases resiliency and increases growth in keeping with our advantages. Thank you.
Great speech. I just have a couple questions for you. The first one is, you talked about how, in response to my argument talking about how risk is lowered, you said that your plan has nothing to do with risk, correct?
Well, no, that specific point didn't have to do with risk. Our harm has to do with inefficiencies within the system, and that seemed to be the point that inherency point was making, because you were talking about legal reforms.
Okay, and so would you remind us all, what is your criteria?
Yeah, so it's first of all systemic risk minimization, and the second of all market efficiency, and as we read, those are both stated goals of financial regulators.
And also, would you mind handing me your evidence under your status quo?
What evidence?
There was the status quo goals that you...
Oh, for the goals, yes. You can keep talking while I find it.
Okay. Well, then if there's... Because you also said that you had the study under your first advantage. Would you also mind?
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but once I get back to the table.
Okay, and do you also know the methodology for that study?
For the study under our first advantage?
Yes.
Well, I don't have the numbers with me off the top of my head, but basically they took an analysis of banks in the post-Dodd-Frank era within the U.S., and it was just based on data from that. Okay. I can give it to you in a minute.
Yes, could I also get your IMF study, please?
The IMF?
Yes.
So, and hold on. Here you go.
Thank you. Is this the full study?
No, that's just the part we quoted, but the methodology is listed on there.
Okay.
And we have the full study of that also, if you want.
Yes, I would actually really like that. Thank you. Right. Also, you said in response to this burden of specificity, I just want to clear the air. When you're saying that, when you're agreeing to that, you say that only the plan needs to be specific. You would agree though that your evidence has to be to a degree too, correct?
In most instances, yes. But my point was that it depends on the point the evidence is trying to make. It's not like a plan where specificity is automatically a reason not to go with it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Thank you. No further questions.